What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing today? Hope you're excited. 'Cause today we got another top 5 trending Young Guns video, this time for the month of June 2024. This will be the last top 5 trending Young Guns of the 2023-24 NHL season, with games actually being played. As I'm recording this, the Stanley Cup Finals has not started yet, but by the time you guys see this, Game 1 has been played. And yeah, I am so excited for this Finals. Probably the most excited I've been for a final since, obviously, Montreal was in the final, but a final that I don't have any fan bias in. This is probably the most excited I've ever been for a cup final. Let me know your guys' cup final picks down in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Completely free. Change your mind anytime. Drop a like on this video and enjoy. And yeah, comment your cup final predictions down below. And before we get started, as per usual, this is not financial advice. Please invest in sport cards at your own risk. All prices will be in USD for PSA 10 Young Guns. The graphs will be courtesy of Sport Card Investor, not a sponsor or anything. And yeah, let's get things kicked off here with number 5. All right, kicking off our list here, number 5 is going to be someone that when I think of this cup final, I do not immediately think of Carter Verhaeghe, but his Young Guns is trending and he's on the lower end of things, so his cards aren't worth that much, but they have grown quite a bit in price, so I decided to include him on this list and leave some others out. Carter Verhaeghe has proven time and time again that he is a playoff gamer. When the more the game means, the more Carter Verhaeghe shows up and performs, at least from what I've seen with the last couple years in Florida and his time before in Tampa. Carter Verhaeghe is just an overall really good playoff player. Taking a look at his stats now, looking at this year's playoff stats, you can see he has 17 points in 17 games, including 9 goals, and he's known for scoring those big overtime goals. So let's say he pots a big one to win the Stanley Cup, his cards could definitely spike up. Now, I think that's very unlikely. I'm more on the sell train with Carter Verhaeghe because I don't think his namesake is big enough compared to guys like Matt Tkachuk and some other guys further down on this list. So I'm on the sell train with Verhaeghe, but I can't deny that he's a big game player. Looking at Verhaeghe's graph, we can see that in the previous month, there's a low point of $18 US for a PSA 10 Young Guns of Carter Verhaeghe, and one recently sold for as high as $65 US. That is a big time increase. If you could get $65 US for a PSA 10 Carter Verhaeghe, I think you go ahead and take it. Now, there is that chance where the Panthers go on to win the cup and his cards spike a little more then, but I think from $18 to $65, I think that's just take your winnings now if you have a Verhaeghe. If not, then I would just stay away. I wouldn't bother buying into Verhaeghe now while the hype is already built. Coming in at number 4 on our list is an already established superstar on the Edmonton Oilers. It is going to be Leon Draisaitl, and honestly, Leon Draisaitl's cards have seen a bit of a spike because of this cup final run. Obviously, a lot of the attention is going to be on McDavid, but Leon Draisaitl is one of the best players in the league in his own right, and if they win a cup, if he is able to get a Stanley Cup, his cards, I think, will go up even more. Now, do I think you should buy into this hype? It depends how big your budget is, because a lot of these guys on Edmonton, their cards are pretty priced in as is, so it's going to be tough to buy right now, especially if they go on to lose the cup, because then you're probably going to be out some money. So I don't know what to do with Leon Draisaitl. Let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Leon Draisaitl has been a consistent 100-point player over the course of his career, and that has continued into this season and into the playoffs, as he has 28 points in 18 playoff games. And yeah, Draisaitl, like I said, it really kind of depends, I think, if the Oilers go on to win the cup or not, what his cards do. Take a look at his graph now. We can see he's all the way up to $745 USD for PSA 10 Young Guns. That's up from around 600 last month, and I think the hype's already pretty built in with Leon Draisaitl. I think it's going to be pretty tough to buy right now. Definitely think it's a decent selling opportunity, but if they do go on to win the cup, I could see this card going up even more. It just really depends on what you think is going to happen in this cup final. Up next at number 3 was a guy who was considered one of the most underrated players in the NHL for years, and now I don't think he's underrated at all. Aleksander Barkov is definitely one of the best, if not the best, two-way forward in the NHL today, and he has had a heck of a playoffs and really impressed. Now, unfortunately, being a two-way center, he's not the flashiest guy, so he doesn't have a ton of hobby value, but he's really shown in this playoffs how good of a player he is, and last year in the cup final run as well. I think Barkov's cards are just undervalued across the board now. I don't think it's going to change because he's not an exciting player, and he is also in a kind of not so great Florida Panthers market, but his cards are up right now. Now, looking at Barkov, you can see his stats aren't as flashy as some of the other guys on his own team and on Edmonton, but he's got 17 points in 17 playoff games and 80 points over 73 regular season games this season. And while putting up those offensive numbers while being one of the best defensive shutdown centers in the league. I think Barkov is definitely undervalued, even though he doesn't put up insane offensive totals like some other guys in this cup final. Taking a look at his graph now, you can see about a month ago, one Young Guns PSA 10 sold for around 175 USD. Now one recently sold for as high as 231 USD. Now, if the Panthers were to go on and win the Stanley Cup, and let's say Barkov wins the Conn Smythe, I could definitely see this card going up even more. But if the Oilers win, I could see this card either plateauing or dropping pretty significantly in value back down to that 175 or even down even further. It really just depends on whether or not the Panthers win or lose, I think, for Barkov. If they win, I think this card will probably go up more because Barkov has a good chance to win the Conn Smythe. Him, Kachuk, or Bobrovsky for sure. So yeah, if you think the Panthers are going to win, don't hate buying Barkov, but you might be too late to the hype train on this one. Don't hate selling him at all. Coming in at number 2 is a guy that I picked at the start of the year to be a huge breakout player in 2020-2024, and I was definitely correct. It's Evan Bouchard of the Edmonton Oilers, who has quickly become one of the best defensemen in the NHL, and I think he's a huge reason why they are here in the Stanley Cup final in the first place. And hear me out here. If Evan Bouchard didn't come in last season during the regular season and show that he could really run this power play, that he could distribute, get the puck to McDavid, get the puck to Draisaitl, get the puck down low to Hyman, have that boomer of a shot from the point, they would not have been able to do that trade and trade away Tyson Barrie to go out and get Mattias Ekholm. And I think Mattias Ekholm was a huge piece for the Edmonton Oilers. And I don't think the Oilers are here without Ekholm on that blue line. If they had Barrie back there instead of Ekholm, I think they're completely missing that physicality. Absolute elite defenseman point totals. Guys like Cale Makar, he's right there with them right now, I think. And Adam Fox, other elite defenseman in this league. Evan Bouchard is right in that conversation. Speaking of the stats, let's take a look at them. Evan Bouchard has 27 points in 18 playoff games this season, and he was over a point per game in the regular season. Evan Bouchard, that is elite numbers for a defenseman. Yeah, definitely one of the best D-men in this league, in my opinion. And yeah, we'll see him continue to grow, I think, into next season. So I would wait for the hype to die off a little bit with the Cup final, and I would definitely be considering picking some up for next season if you haven't already. Yeah, looking at his graph here, you can see one sold a month ago for around 90 US, and recently one sold for as high as 143 US. I think that trend is going to continue if the Oilers win the Cup. If they end up losing, I could definitely see this plateauing or dropping off like the other cards, but I don't hate buying Evan Bouchard this summer. Like I might look to buy some Bouchard because I think he's entered that conversation with Cale Makar, Adam Fox, the other elite defenseman Rasmus Dahlin in this league, and yeah, I really like Evan Bouchard. All right, and finally coming in at number 1 on our top 5 trending young guns for the month of June, I want you all to act surprised when I say Connor McDavid. Of course, it's Connor McDavid. He's finally made it to his first Stanley Cup final. He is going to play for the Stanley Cup, and I am so excited. Now, I don't have a McDavid Young Guns, but I really wish I did, because now I don't think it's a really great time to buy one because the hype is higher than it's ever been, at least that I've seen for McDavid. And yeah, his cards are up pretty significantly, and I think if he wins the Cup, they will go up even further. It's just the price point's already set in. If they lose, they drop off a cliff. If he wins, they go to the moon. It's just what it is. Look at McDavid's stats. There's not really much that needs to be said. He is a constant favorite on sports books. Every single playoff game, he is minus money to get 2 points, which is crazy. 132 over 76 regular season games this year, and he's been absolutely killing it in the playoffs as well. As you can see, about a month ago, one sold for around 2,383 US, and one recently sold for 2,925 US. That's a pretty significant jump, and I think this trend will continue to go upwards as the finals go on. If he wins it, I think this card could definitely skyrocket. As soon as he gets a championship, I think there's a chance this card goes up even higher. Now, do I recommend buying him? I don't know. I always say it's never a bad time to buy McDavid because his cards will always have value, but they're pretty high priced in, especially if they don't win. You're probably going to end up losing money. So I don't know if now's the best time to buy, but I can't blame you if you do. McDavid, just a generational player. That's going to do it for this list. It's not the right list. I definitely missed some guys, left out guys like Matt Kachuk, for example. Let me know down in the comments below who I missed. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy. Subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. Change your mind anytime. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.